I have a GR Corolla. I drive one. I've driven one for over 47,000 miles. But this particular Premium Plus version in red is the automatic version with the 8-speed DAT transmission. I got t-shirts that say save the manuals. This 8-speed automatic is amazing time. We're gonna get to that in a second. Outside is the same that you have noticed even on my car and plenty of other GR Corollas. The main big difference here is that if you get down low, these grills have openings for an additional radiator, and a cooler for the transmission is on there as well. You see, I don't know if it's on, I can't remember which side it's on, but there's one there. If you come over to this side, you'll see another one in there as well. Larger opening on the front grille. I've talked about this before. Larger opening, gloss black on the front, bigger grille openings. I will say this. I was one of those people that previously, when I first saw this car, I did not like the front end compared to my car. When you do see it in person, it does grow on you. I still prefer mine, but I could see how this will grow on people as well. But to give you a full walk around, here is the overall car itself. Everything that you've come to know and see about it. This is what it's known for, and this is what people love about this car, is because of how it looks. The rear 3/4 section is probably one of the best views for that. 3 exhausts on the rear. The wheels changed now that they are more of like a matte color, and I've talked about that before, but the brakes remain the same as far as the performance of them. The overall design remains exactly the same. The big difference, and if you didn't notice what the forged carbon roof looks like, that's what it looks like if you haven't seen one in person, but the overall look and design remains the same. And the added feature they have besides the dual zone climate is that now there's a heads-up display when you have this vehicle for 2025. Gloss black on the mirror caps, side, additional vent right there, which I have seen some models where this isn't body colored, where it is black, or maybe that's an aftermarket thing, but added vent on there for airflow. There isn't a wing on it, but it's still optional that you can put on there, like the Circuit Edition wing that I have on my car. So it is still available. Let's get back to how this car drives. Amazing. Round of applause to Toyota, because the way this drives, I mean, if you're open to it, right? Let me just say that if you're open to the idea, maybe you just truly are not open to it and it's only manual, I understand that. But if you are and you go to drive this, you will be pleasantly surprised by how this performs, and you might change, you might turn. Interior, the same that you have seen plenty of times on GR Corollas. Obviously on a Premium Plus, you get this red stitching, softer materials in the top. Right there, you get the suede inserts inside of the seats, stitching there for red, GR badging. Same thing inside of here, red stitching there as well inside, and even on the gear selector there for the automatic. The drive modes and the changes for the torque split remain the same as far as the drive modes right there. Dual zone climate control is an additional feature. Obviously the infotainment system remains the same in the same size. There's a HUD display, heads up display, and you can kind of see it there. If you look kind of closer, you see the M1 because I'm in manual mode. If I switch it over to drive, switch it over to park, it changes. Switch it over to reverse, drive, back to manual mode. And you also see the speedometer there as far as the miles per hour. And you also see the cruise control setting right there as well. Obviously the stitching right there, gloss black as far as the trim, stitching right there inside of the interior seats, and everything kind of remains the same. This is all familiar when it comes to how this car is. But this automatic, let me tell you, it's a driving experience worth you to try out if you have a GR Corolla, or if you're on the fence and you're like, do I get an automatic, do I get a manual? I'm gonna say, give the automatic its fair shake. Give it its fair try. Now under the hood, which if you're used to my channel, what I'm about to show you is degular. You know, I've shown you this before, but for those that are new to this, that want to see what a 3-cylinder turbo looks like with 300 horsepower. 300 horsepower. Obviously, this engine has been known and talked about from a variety of people. It performs and does exactly what you would expect at this level. It is one of the best performing engines that you can have in this sport compact all-wheel drive type of car. I'm saying that because Toyota has done an excellent job when it comes to making something that matches that era of sport compact hatchback all-wheel drive cars. And I think this is just another shining example. Rear trunk area, this comes with the factory bar. I do want to add this to my car because it adds stiffening to it, allows it to obviously handle tighter, but I also like how it looks. But that's an added feature that they put in here. That's an optional accessory that you can add onto the car itself. As a person who is a proponent of save the manual society, I first and foremost really only want to deal with a manual car. And the GR Corolla is literally the ethos of that, right? But I had to drive this because the automatic inside of this car has some controversy because everybody who has it in manual, and so they only want to talk about it in manual and they want to only have it like that, and anything else doesn't kind of bode well for what they're looking for, and it doesn't kind of match what they're trying to do when it comes to the car. And so on some aspects I get it. I'm like, okay, I understand the GR Yaris, GR Corolla, it's a very manual analog car, so I get not wanting to see an automatic version of something like that come out. But I also recognize that you can do both. And in my time driving this, what I am feeling is not anything missing from the engagement of what this car is like. What I'm experiencing is like a new way of driving it, right? Where your focus is on the steering inputs and using these paddle shifters to drop a gear down and to come to a corner and get on the brake and be able to modulate the throttle better. I'm just getting a new experience with it. And that, to me, makes me even love the car even more. When you're coming down to a stop or decelerating, it blips the throttle for you, like automatically. It'll drop down the gears that you need and bring you to where you want to be. So you still feel like you're driving a sports car. Like you don't feel like you're driving something that's hindered by the automatic. Even if I press on it, it'll hold the gear, rev it all the way to rev. This is an 8-speed direct automatic transmission, is what they call it, a DAT. It's not a DSG, it's not a DST, but it's very close. And I guess the benefit from an automatic standpoint, other than those other cars, that when you're trying to just pull around town and just calm and easy driving, it still drives like a standard automatic. But when it's time to go and you want it to perform and do something, that is when it wakes up and it actually performs and does what you're asking for it to do. From a perspective of somebody who drives a manual, the automatic is comfortable. I will say one thing on the manual transmission, first gear is kind of just obsolete. The nice thing about the automatic is that it jumps from first to second like that. Much faster than me when I have to shift and have to get out of gear then go into second. This one is quick and right to it, which I do like. Track mode and all the modes that you had before are the same. The difference now is that normally in the previous generation of the GR Corolla, you can split the torque from 30 to 70 and hold it there at 50-50. Now it's variable depending on what you're doing in the car and how you're performing with it. So it doesn't stay static. That might be a con for some people depending on how you've driven the car and what you've done. But I think a lot of that was due to the fact that there were some times when you were on the track when it came to this car that you would have the differential heat up to a certain threshold. And I think Toyota did that to bring that threshold down so that you can enjoy the car for a longer period of time if you were on a track set. Now, I'm in manual mode. And in manual mode, if you hear, it'll hold that gear only until you decide to shift it. Oh man. And the downshifts get all the way up to the high RPM part of it. It doesn't hold you back. It's not reducing what it can do because it's an automatic. Nothing is lost with the character of this car with the automatic. Nothing is lost with how it performs and how it drives when it comes to holding a gear, shifting, taking corners. It's excellent. Round of applause, Toyota. Honestly, that is one of the biggest pluses of this, how this transmission is set up, is that it doesn't take away from how you would want to drive this car. and how you want it to perform. The handling and everything is exactly what you come to expect. It performs exactly like a GR Corolla, just the difference is you get this new experience when it comes to having an automatic. Oh my goodness. It bangs gears, and it'll get close to red line when you're downshifting. Now, if it's too far up, if you try to press a downshift, it'll just beep and say, I can't do that. It's just too close to the red line. But everything else, it'll make that shift for you. In general though, if you were thinking about wanting to experience a GR Corolla and afraid that the automatic would take away from that experience, it won't. I never thought it would be this good. I was skeptical, I'll be honest. I was skeptical about how it would feel with the automatic version of a car that I love. I have a close friend of mine that has been thinking about trading in his GR Corolla manual for an automatic, and I can't wait to talk to him about this. I love my manual, I love it, but I cannot knock the automatic version of this car. Toyota delivered on something that is all around, just all around a great performer.